Hello everyone. In this video, I'll be translating and summarizing the latest Urdu broadcast by Samina Pasha to make it accessible for our English-speaking audience. Let's go through the key developments and insights in Samina Pasha's words. There are some important items because a press conference by Trump and Netanyahu came out and there has been a reaction from the Muslim Ummah about it. After all these things, a reaction has started to appear. We'll examine that. Besides that, we will talk about the situation in Kashmir. Today is also a day of meetings with Imran Khan. We'll give you updates on that as well. There was good news today regarding Justice Tariq Mahmood Jahangiri. I will share what that was. And then Falak Javed was produced again in court today. So we will also talk about his condition in relation to the jail. So there's quite a lot in this vlog. I request that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet. First of all, let's talk about the big step the government of Pakistan has taken, what conversations are happening around it, and how a new propaganda has also been started. What happened was somewhat expected. Obviously, a reaction was bound to come. But the surprising thing is that those quarters from which it was thought religious groups would come out, that Maulana Fazlur Rahman would issue a strong, thunderous statement, that Tehreek-e-Labbaik would immediately take to the streets for rallies, and that other religious groups like Jamaat-e-Islami would raise a challenge against the government, asking, how could you accept Israel? Instead, what happened was that these people remained silent. Neither did a statement come from Maulana, nor did Tehreek-e-Labbaik make any uproar, nor did Jamaat-e-Islami call for any protest. Although Hafiz Naeem Rahman did put a small tweet saying that this is not acceptable to us, these are the words of conventional religious hypocrisy that we are seeing. The reason for this is that for the last 2 years we have been repeatedly telling you that all these people, whether they were from civil society, various organizations, independent media, or religious groups, all of them seemed like proxies. Because whenever they were signalled, they would come out onto the streets. Whatever government was in power at the time, they would apply pressure on it to destabilize it. So all those organizations were nothing more than pressure groups. They were neither independent, nor did they protest on their own, nor were they attached to any real ideology. Rather, they acted on cues. When the cue came to put pressure on a government, these people would come out, whatever the excuse of the moment. These excuses were made many times. Sometimes they would raise an issue over a law like Section 295C, sometimes over some other matter. For instance, why wasn't that ambassador expelled? And then protests would start. But all these aims were solely to put the incumbent local government under pressure. Now, in the last 2 years, whatever human rights violations have occurred, whatever violations of women's rights have happened, whatever breaches of the sanctity of homes and private spaces have occurred, and whatever damage has been done to basic matters under the guise of religion that used to appear as traditional religious protest, we have not seen those protests. The reason is the same. There were no cues. So now I think it's become completely transparent that these religious organizations and all those protest groups are pressure groups. The question is, where do they operate from? That is one issue. The other thing is that the protests that have now started are, naturally, people from PTI openly speaking about it. Some notable figures are openly talking. And unexpectedly voices have even risen from within PMLN saying we need to look at this matter. This does not seem acceptable. Those are the things that have prompted protests to begin, and at least reactions have started, even if full-scale protests have not happened yet. Clearly, the government had no strategy to counter that reaction. So, to counter it, they raised one point. Look, this matter is heading toward a two-state solution. That has always been Pakistan's position. We have not changed our state policy. Pakistan has supported the idea of a two-state solution even in the United Nations. And we're saying that if the discussion is moving towards a two-state solution, then there is no harm in accepting those points. The other benefit, they argued, is that this would immediately stop bloodshed. It would bring a ceasefire. So there is benefit in that, and therefore we are supporting it. That was the argument they made. But everyone knows how many flaws are in that argument, because ultimately you would be talking about accepting Israel. And if you're talking about a two-state solution, yes, Pakistan endorsed that in 1967 and later in the 1980s as well. But the geography of the two-state solution then is not the same today in 2025. That needs to be examined. The reason is that when they tried to counter PTI's severe criticism, they dug up old clips and statements of Imran Khan and edited and circulated them on social media. Where Imran Khan said that he could accept a two-state solution or move in that direction, they highlighted only that portion and spread it, essentially saying, see, Imran Khan also took that position. These are the same 20 points that were on Imran Khan's table in 2020. And back then, Imran Khan supported it, so this is not something new. This is state policy, and Imran Khan has endorsed it too. So the first point is, even if I momentarily accept that Imran Khan might have endorsed something like that, and I'm saying for a moment that's the case, although I'm not asserting it is, think about the credibility of this government. When they want to have something accepted or justified, they have to bring Imran Khan's statement in support of it. They have to rely on him. If they want credibility, they know they don't have any. Whatever they say, no one is ready to accept. They would be cursed for it. So, because they lack credibility, to provide support for their position, they have to find statements of Imran Khan. Something similar that allows them to say, look, Imran Khan was also saying this. In other words, they know that Imran Khan's support would make their position look right. So that means they need Imran Khan's support to validate their position. Now, let's come to the facts. The fact is that whenever Imran Khan spoke about moving toward a two-state solution, he always spoke of a state in which Palestine would get its rights. He has explicitly said that he will not accept Israel until Palestine gets its rights. What is meant by Palestine getting its rights? This is an open fact. It's not rocket science to understand. In the statement he made before the United Nations General Assembly, he explained what those rights are. That according to the UN resolutions, the 1967 lines would be the borders under which the Palestinian state's capital would be Jerusalem and Al-Quds would be under its control. Do you understand the point? Now, the issue is that if you look at the 1967 boundaries and compare them to 2025, the Palestinian state under that standard now appears as just small scattered dots. Israel has taken over most of the land. So if you say you are moving toward a two-state solution, and mean by that the 1967 boundaries where Jerusalem was with Palestine, then fine. That would mean you are implementing the UN resolutions. But when you remove that part in the middle and only say, yes, a two-state solution, while in reality those two states have become such that Israel has occupied almost everything and Palestine is left with maybe a small strip in the West Bank and a couple of small dots in Gaza, then what remains of the Palestinian state? Because they had no force, there was no conventional war, nothing like an equal fight. Everyone knows how the fighting went, so the point is, what did the Palestinians get? Their entire country was devastated. What was the result? Was anyone held accountable? Is there any trial for war crimes in this proposal? Is there talk of returning people to their former positions, that is, to go back to the pre-crisis positions of 1967 before the last 2 years of crisis, and then bring a two-state solution from there? If you do that, everyone will welcome it. Still more importantly, if the Palestinians themselves acknowledge the current position and say, okay, we are exhausted, we cannot fight anymore, spare our lives, and we accept this state that remains for us, whatever little is left, then you could say the Palestinians are not going to fight for their rights anymore. Then what can we say? But the way this two-state solution and these whole 20 points are being imposed on them is, to give you a simple analogy, a crude example, I apologize if anyone is offended. It's like repeatedly gang-raping a helpless woman, and the people standing around do not stop the gang. They don't stop it. They say that now we are indulging in mischief, and we can't stop it. All right? After that, all those who are standing around watching should tell the helpless lady that since rape is bound to happen to you every day, it's already happening. So now do this. Marry this man so that you get some legal cover. Because we can't save you. So now, whatever has happened, let it be. Just give her some legal cover. This is exactly like what you did with Palestine. And now all the Arab countries and everyone are telling them that they should give Palestine some legal cover. Accept it under a treaty. What has happened has happened. Whatever has gone to Israel, let it go. Now you should just save yourselves. This is the kind of situation I can understand as an example. As for Imran Khan's statement, after running half of it, he immediately explained that according to the position of 1967, they are not pursuing a two-state solution. What they are doing is just to make it sound like Imran Khan said there should be a two-state solution. Well, you must have accepted that you need Imran Khan's support to assert your stance. However, whether people listen to Imran Khan or not, Netanyahu later, after his meeting with Trump, very clearly recorded a video saying that he does not recognize a Palestinian state. He is openly stating that he is not willing to accept the existence of a Palestinian state. Number one. Number two, he is not even saying that his forces will withdraw from there. He says his forces will remain stationed there. So why is there a ceasefire, and why is a two-state solution being discussed here? The first thing is that the Americans are acknowledging that they accept a two-state solution. If that is happening, then the debate ends here. If they have accepted it, then what else are we supposed to talk about? But it is important to understand the stance of the Americans. Well, this discussion will continue in the future. PTI also had an assembly today, and they passed a resolution against this. Naturally, they have raised an outcry that the recognition of Israel is unacceptable to us. These things will, of course, be discussed politically. If Imran Khan's statement comes out today, and if he meets with his sisters, we can expect his statement on this issue. But it's possible that if they don't meet, Imran Khan may not give a statement. In that case, there will be another round of propaganda saying, he didn't make a statement. If someone meets him, maybe he will give a statement. That's the situation. Now, let's talk about Kashmir, where the situation has become very critical. As I told you yesterday, people have once again taken to the streets to protest. They are not going anywhere without having their demands met. Their approach and resistance are different from that of Pakistanis. They know how to assert their demands. You saw the incident of firing yesterday. The news came that 2 people, according to some sources, were injured. After that, the protests gained more momentum, and last night people reached the different entry points of Kashmir, where they blocked access points that connect Pakistan to Kashmir. Today, a large number of people are still on the streets, and protests continue. The media is covering this in a very odd way, and I think that's more alarming. Why not at least show the truth? Kashmir is not such an enemy region that you should blame innocent Kashmiris, but the way they are being portrayed is as if they're the ones who opened fire, causing the situation to deteriorate. There are allegations against some members of the Muslim Conference for allegedly firing and trying to create a bad situation. But the Kashmiris have remained patient. They've said they are not planning to attack the military or do anything violent. They are peaceful and will remain peaceful. But they have stated that they will not forgive those who opened fire on them. They also said they are with Pakistan and are still not against Pakistan. Their demands are simple and relate to the improvement of their living conditions. Better electricity, better internet service, lower prices of flour, employment opportunities, and the end of corruption in the government. These are normal, basic demands that anyone can have anywhere. There is nothing in their demands that suggests they are following some enemy agenda. But the media is spreading lies that their strike was a failure, although it was successful, and that they are trying to disturb the situation under some agenda. On the contrary, the ones who are actually causing trouble are those who are firing bullets and trying to incite panic. The third lie is that they are trying to create disorder in the region. This is all an effort to put pressure on Pakistan. The Kashmiris have answered these lies by saying that the Pakistani media is not showing the truth. The internet is shut down there, and it's difficult to get the facts out. The videos that are circulating are sometimes from the day, but arrive at night. This is the kind of situation happening there. This situation in Kashmir needs to be handled very delicately. Let's see what happens next. But there's some good news from Justice Tariq Mahmood Jahangiri, who today shared that if you stand for justice, justice will eventually come to you. Today, in the Supreme Court, his case was heard again. His petition was being discussed before the Constitutional Bench, and people involved included the Attorney General and Advocate Mian Dawood, who was representing the petitioner in the fake degree case. I remind you that the Constitutional Bench was hearing the case regarding whether Justice Sarfraz Dogar's order to stop Justice Tariq Mahmood Jahangiri from working should be cancelled. They were not discussing the merits of the case, whether the degree was fake or not, only the issue of whether Justice Dogar had the right to stop him from performing his duties. The Constitutional Bench had no choice but to annul the unconstitutional order because both the Attorney General and Mian Dawood admitted that there was no legal basis for this action. Therefore, the order was nullified, and Justice Tariq Mahmood Jahangiri is now reinstated. However, on October 18th, the Supreme Judicial Council has called a session to discuss the entire fake degree issue, and the merits will be debated. For now, though, the temporary relief is that the order to stop him has been quashed. This gives you an idea of Justice Sarfraz Dogar's capabilities. His decision to suspend a judge was clearly made with ill intentions, as it was unnecessary to do so in the first place. Unfortunately, this decision was short-lived and couldn't stand the scrutiny. This shows the state of our judicial system, where a capable judge was removed from the Lahore High Court and made the Chief Justice of Islamabad High Court. Lastly, let me update you on the case of Falak Javed. He has been sent to jail for 4 more days on physical remand. 6 days ago, he was also sent on remand, and today he gave a statement in court saying that he was kept at a police station overnight, which is not allowed. No woman should be kept in a police station. They should be sent to jail. He said they intentionally kept him in the police station to insult him. He lashed out at some people, including Usma Bukhari and Mariam Nawaz, calling them oppressive toward women. That wraps up our translation of Samina Pasha's video. I hope this English version helped you understand her message better. Please like, share and subscribe to Awami Lens to help our community grow. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this effort.